Okay, this is a quick video to cover all the tools that we're going to be using to finish our cars. So I'll start down here. This is a dovetail saw. Any old saw will do for this application because the balsa wood's so soft. You can break it by hand. You can use a knife or a scalpel to cut it. So just got a nice little saw called a dovetail saw, which we'll use to cut pretty much this support structure off. That's about it. So dovetail saw, obviously sharp edge. Try not to rub the sharp edge against your skin or anyone else's. So basically avoid touching the sharp bits. When you're cutting, avoid cutting through into the table or whatever surface that you've got it on. So keep in mind what's around you when you're cutting. But pretty straightforward. If you need help with this, please ask. Later on, we'll get into the drill. We'll use the just cordless drill. When you're using these, there's a little arrow here backwards. On this side, it's forwards. So if you want to go backwards, make sure the backwards is pressed in. If you want to go forwards, make sure that's pressed in. Forwards, backwards. If it's in the middle, nothing will happen. So forwards, it's a keyless chuck. And if I can spin it by hand, or I can click and hold on the trigger, and that will close. If it's going forwards, it will close up the chuck, and if it's going backwards, it will open up the chuck if I'm holding it. So I can put different size bits in, lock it in place, and then give it a twist to make sure it's locked in securely. There's a clutch and settings on here. Try to avoid playing with them as much as possible, but there is also a speed adjustment here at the top. Won't need that very much. A bit later on, get into that one. Different grades of sandpaper. Now they're all numbered and they're all on the back. So that first one, the brown one here, is 120, and there's three which are very slightly different shades of black or grey, and they all have different numbers on them. So the roughest is the lowest number. So we've got some 70 somewhere as well. Shouldn't need that. So 120, 240. 320, 600. I think we've even got 800 and 1200 at the back if you really want that finer paper. But for the most part, you want to start off with the roughest stuff first to get rid of most of the material, and then slowly increase the number to get a smoother finish on your designs. Also have some wood filler. So please, when you're using this, do not leave the lid off because it dries up. If it is a bit dry, you can put a tiny little drop of water in it, and it will liquefy it again. Please do not put too much in because we don't want it just a liquidy mess. You'll need some sort of a scrap piece to apply the filler with. That can we'll have some of these lying around, but something to apply the filler. You can use a finger. You just need to wash your finger afterwards. Along with the sandpaper, we also have some little files which come in handy for some detail areas, so please return those to the box if you use any of those. A couple of sharp objects. There is a knife, Stanley knife, and craft knife, scalpel, whatever you like to call it. So these, awesome sharp, very easy to cut yourself with. Please be careful when you're operating this device. What else have we got? Super glue. We have some safety sheets around the place for the super glue. So please make sure that you take extreme caution when you're using this stuff. It is very dangerous. It lets off some nasty chemicals, nasty fumes. So please, when you're using it, do not put your head straight over the top of it. This will glue very strong and very fast. So make sure that very careful with this. If you have finished, it's almost worthwhile just chucking the bottle out. It's super cheap. So I'd rather have that than have glue all over the workshop. So super glue, very nasty chemical, very strong. It will glue your fingers together and anything that your fingers are touching. So it is extremely powerful. What is equally as powerful is the thing which takes the super glue off of your body. That's acetone, off your body, off or any other surface. So I guess acetone, active ingredient and nail polish remover. This is just as dangerous as the super glue. It is very nasty chemical. Do not inhale this chemical. Do not breathe it in. It will collapse your lungs. So nasty. Please operate with caution. I do not leave this lying around. This is the sort of thing, if you need to get it off your fingers, I will give you a rag with some acetone on it and you can use that to rub it off your hands. So I don't leave this lying around, but that's what acetone's for. So if you have super glue on you, please come and see me and say I need the acetone to remove it. And same deal with the super glue. I don't usually leave that lying around. If you need it, come and see me. And it's something we need fairly regularly because you not knock a wing off or break something. So it's very helpful, obviously, in terms of reattaching wings and other body parts. Some of the other chemicals we'll get into a bit later. We'll have some lacquer. It's in a little jar like this. Some primer. So the lacquer is the first thing we'll put on, and that will seal the wood. The second thing we'll put on will be the primer, and that will prime it and get it ready for painting. And then, of course, we'll have some paints. Now, depending on your class and when it is, and all sorts of different factors, it may be me who'll be doing the painting. So this may or may not be relevant because access to the spray booth and all sorts of other logistics might affect if you can spray or not. So just be aware that that's what we'll be painting the cars with. Please use caution in the workshop. Safety glasses are available, and if you need a dust mask, I can sort you out with one. If you have sensitive skin and you want to use gloves, I can sort you out some gloves. And just generally in terms of ventilation, we have this table itself. This is a downdraft table, so if it gets a bit dusty for you, then you can turn this on. Only other tool we have in here is this Dremel attached to the cord. There's almost no reason for you guys to use this, so I should not hear this tool running at all. So there are scenarios where you might need to jump onto it, but it is a case-by-case basis. Please ask. Please do not just jump on. So that's a synopsis of all the tools that we'll be using. There are a few other bits and pieces, so I can cover those in a bit more detail later on.